Welcome to Let's Just Be Real with me, your host, Marissa Tong. I'm a multi-passionate creative entrepreneur who's on a journey to create my dream life in a world where adulting just gets too real sometimes. On this podcast, we talk about all things beyond surface level to leave you feeling inspired to think bigger, unapologetically prioritize your self-care, and discover your true, authentic self. Think of me as your unfiltered but wise auntie who just wants the best for all of us. So grab your journal or maybe a glass of wine and let's get real. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Just Be Real podcast. I'm your host, Marissa Tong. Welcome back to season 6. Yes, we are resuming after a much needed break. So our last episode was in January and I pretty much ghosted on the podcast. Okay, I'm gonna just be real. We're gonna keep it all the way real in today's episode. Okay, we have so much to talk about, catch up on, kiki. Okay, I'm gonna be updating you guys on my life. I'm sure that many of you guys are curious about what's been going on with me. So we have a lot to talk about, but we're going to try to keep this episode short and cute because you guys know how I do. Okay. And we're in a season of working smarter, not burning ourselves out. Like that period of my life it's over. It's done with. I'm unsubscribing from burnout. I'm actually healing from burnout. So we are currently trying to work smarter and just making our systems and workload just a little bit lighter and easier. So we're going to try to keep this, under 30 minutes, which I feel like we usually do for our episodes. So let's dive in, y'all. Okay. So we're hopping back into season 6. We only had 3 episodes. I was checking the last couple episodes and I was like, oh, we only did 3 episodes for season 6. So we're going to just resume. Okay. We took a nice, 5-month, 6-month hiatus, 5 months pretty much. And first of all, happy July 1st. Okay. Your girl is so strategic. I'm like, it just feels like the right time, even though it is Mercury retrograde. Okay. I feel like I'm always doing something around Mercury retrograde. It's like, I don't know, I just can't help myself. I love a good challenge, but we're going to pray that the next couple weeks goes nice and smooth. Okay. So if you're traveling, if you're starting something new, if you're signing contracts and all of that, just be careful. Okay. Just take your time and double check everything because Mercury's in the microwave, okay? And it's in Cancer. So if you're feeling extra sensitive and emotional right now, like all of that is normal. It is Cancer season. I'm definitely feeling Cancer season right now. Like I am going through not only a personal healing process, but also with family and with relationships. And it's heavy. I'm not going to lie. Okay. So we're here together. Okay. And we have so much to talk about. Oh my God. Okay, so let me update you guys while we're on the topic of astrology, because you guys know I always like to start my episodes just giving a little update, about like the transits and what's going on and all of that. So I actually started, I think I talked about this, like this is nothing new as far as my blog. I have my Substack publication called Midheaven Mommy, and it's a separate publication from Let's Just Be Real. So I have Let's Just Be Real, which goes, hand in hand with the podcast. We're going to be uploading episodes back onto Substack. And then, my usual personal essays and all of that will still be on Let's Just Be Real. But we have a separate publication. So if you are someone who's into the cosmos, you love astrology, you want to learn, and you should definitely go subscribe to Midheaven Mommy. And now I have a separate YouTube channel where I'm uploading videos of me talking about astrology. So this is really fun. This is something that I've launched in the past month, I want to say. And it's been really fun. It's been lighting me up, which is something that I desperately needed. I needed something to light me up after a long period of being burnt out and just doing things out of obligation and doing things because I feel like I have to. So now we are just pretty much, taking it to the next level. I'm also doing birth chart readings. So that was already linked in the show notes, but you guys can go ahead and book now directly through a different link. Before, I just had like a Google form for you to fill out the information. But now you can go ahead and book the birth chart reading, and then it'll also give you a link to fill out all the information about your birth chart. So that is a new exciting chapter. I've been doing quite a few readings. I offered a few complimentary if you're in my Hydrated and Thriving broadcast channel on Instagram. So I selected 3 people to do a reading. So I'm sending those out this week. It's been fun. I'm trying not to overwhelm myself because I have a tendency of like when I start something, I go full throttle and I dive right in, and I'm a serious girly. That's one thing about me, okay? I am I am someone who takes things very seriously. So once I'm invested in something, work, relationship, hobby, like any type of information or knowledge, a topic that I'm deep diving on, like I'm going to take it serious. So right now I feel like as much fun that I am having with astrology, I also like want to take it seriously because when you are reading people's birth charts, like it's not a game. Like that's actually something that's pretty serious. And I do encourage people to, not look at it like there's nothing bad necessarily in anyone's charts. Okay. Like we all have good and bad, like shadow and light in our charts. Like it's just how it is. It's balance, right? Like we can't have everything that's going to be like super super good. You're going to have some challenges, right? It's part of life, it's part of your purpose, it's part of your personality. So you have to embrace the good and the bad. So when I'm doing birth chart readings, like I try to highlight the good, right? But then I also am a very honest person, and I tell people like, okay, these are going to be the challenges. These are the things that you're going to have to work a little bit harder through. So I've been having fun with that. Also just continuing to study my own chart and really get to know myself. And there's so much with astrology, right? And I am not calling myself an astrologer. I feel like I am an intuitive person. I've always been intuitive. I've always been in tune with my psychic abilities. I've always been very good at reading people. And once I started, studying astrology, I mean, to be honest, I've been studying astrology since I was like 10, you know, to the level that I am right now. Maybe not when I was 10. Like I was just more so, reading the back of the Cosmo magazine, or, flipping to the astrological section or Elle magazine. Like I was always interested in the astrology section in magazines. So, I would go and read it, and those aren't always like super, super accurate, but they're cute, right? And you get to start to just learn the different archetypes and the personalities and all of that. So that's where I started. And then over time, as I met people over the years, I would just always ask out of curiosity, like, what's your sign? And it kind of helped me to develop an awareness and just like, oh my God, like this person's a Pisces and this person's a Pisces and they have this in common, and this person is a Cancer and that person is a Cancer and they have this in common. And these are, the type of careers that they have. And like you just start seeing all these similarities. And, for some people, they're going to argue like, oh, like, that's just, it's a general assumption or whatever that like all cancers are this way or all Virgos are that way. And yes, there could definitely be assumptions and there could definitely be stereotypes, but when you really pay attention and you really like get to know people and you ask them about their life, like it makes sense. It makes so much sense, especially like when we start talking about the other parts of the chart, not just the sun sign. Like a lot of people just focus on the sun sign, but there is the rising, the moon, the Mercury. Like it's so deep. So I have been having so much fun, just deep diving into the cosmos with you guys. So if you want to support me and just learn a little bit more and stimulate your mind, you can follow me on YouTube, Midheaven Mommy, on there as well. And I'm also posting back on TikTok. I took a nice hiatus from TikTok as well, much needed, much needed. And now I've just been posting whatever I want to post, which has been mostly astrology stuff. So that's where I'm at. That's an update pretty much with where some of my focus is going. But other than that, I am back in New Jersey. I've been here for the past 3 months, and really have just been here focused on personal matters, family matters, my business, just pretty much recalibrating. And something that my therapist had said, I also got a new therapist. Something that my therapist had said is that I have way too many tabs open. And when I had first moved to San Diego, I pretty much moved there already having like all of these tabs open, like all of this baggage from New Jersey and all of this like unfinished business. So coming back here, the goal has been like taking care of that unfinished business, closing some tabs, and really trying to like reset in a way so that I could just feel lighter. I've been making some changes within my business. If you guys are part of our RDF and you've been, a client of mine for a couple years, or maybe you just found the podcast because you took my class or something like that, I've also been making some public changes with the business as well, and scaling back on the load that I have taken on. I've had this business for 9 years. As of this past May, we celebrated our 9-year anniversary. And as beautiful as that is, right? It's like, oh, it's almost 10. Like, that's great, right? But let's focus on 9. As beautiful as that is, I want to also say that, like, 9 is a completion. 9 is a completion year. When we think about 2025, the year 2025, that was also a 9 year, right? It was the year of the snake. I don't even want to talk about it. Like, I'm sure many of us do not want to hear snake or 2025 or anything like that, okay? Because I'm sure, like, for most of us, 2025 was just freaking nuts. But when we talk about numerology and the number 9, it's usually a completion year. And no, I'm not saying that like I'm totally finished with my business and I'm throwing everything away and I'm just completely done, but I am revamping a lot of things. I'm revamping systems. I am rebranding. I'm switching my focus. I am pretty much like downsizing, like I'm in a season of making my life simpler. As I said at the beginning of the show, making my life simpler. I have taken on way too many roles over the past couple years. And at some point, it worked for me. At some point, it worked for me to host and plan retreats. At some point, it worked for me to do that, plus choreograph every single week, multiple choreographies, teach those classes, do the marketing, host my podcast, edit that, publish that, produce that, do freelance work on the side, lead a team, show up for a team, host team meetings. Like, the amount of things that I have been able to do and make it look seamless and effortless, and that, you know, things have just been able to function seamlessly over the past couple of years. Like, I commend myself, because no one knows the struggle that it's been, to be honest. Like, no one knows how many nights I have cried, still, like, still be crying. I'm a very emotional person. I'm a Scorpio. Like, I'm a water sign at the end of the day. Like, Scorpios, yes, we are about our business. Like, we're going to have a poker face. We're going to get things done. But at the end of the day, babe, I'm a water sign. I'm going to cry. I'm crying. Like, no shame. So there have been so many times that I have just wanted to throw in the towel and give everything up. Like, I can't tell you how many times I have texted girls on my team, my friends, and I'm just like, I am over this. Like, I don't want to have this business anymore. And I really had to think about, is that true for me? Is that true for me? Do I want to completely put an end or a stop, to everything that I've been building over the years? And the answer is no and yes. That's the thing. It's like two things can be true at once. And you are also allowed to change your mind. That's something that I wanted to talk about that I wrote down for today. Like, you are allowed to change your mind at any moment. At any moment, especially when you're dealing with something that you have ownership with. Like, you created something, you built it, you birthed it, like, you have creative control. This is something that is yours, right? Like, nobody else has this level of responsibility except me. So it's like, it's up to me. Do I want to continue holding on to all of this responsibility while it's slowly making me sick, stressing me out, causing me anxiety, fear, sleepless nights? It's like, at some point you have to ask yourself, like, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth the sacrifice? And yes, with any business, there are going to be plenty of sacrifices. There are going to be a lot of things that you're going to have to give up or trade in. Like, that's just what it is. Entrepreneurship is never easy. And I've always been super honest about that it's not glamorous, it's not for everyone, it's not something that you just quickly impulsively make a decision on and you just decide, I'm just going to start a business. Like, even with me, there are a lot of things that I wish I would have set up differently starting the business, and having different support systems and people, and whether that's like a business coach, whether that is having an accountant. When I first started the business, like, just having better structure and things in place so that I felt better supported from the very beginning. But again, like, it's all trial and error. There's things that you're going to have to learn over time, and not everybody's going to teach you, especially when you're like first, second generation entrepreneur, business owner in your family. Like, in my immediate family, I am pretty much the second person in our family to run a business. My brother has his own business. My sisters, they're pretty much like, I would say, like, freelancers. One of my sisters, she also does have makeup business, but she's, on and off with that full time, part time. But as far as the, I guess, capacity, or the, how can I say this, the level or expansion of the business, like, I really think I'm one of the first to really be out here, like, running multiple brands at once and going all in, going full time on a business, and now creating, a bi-coastal business and all of that, and managing a team. So there is no blueprint in my family. Even with my friends, like, yeah, I have some friends that are entrepreneurs, but as far as like the friends that I've had for a long time, no. I've only made friends with other entrepreneurs over the years, by seeking them out and meeting them through networking and all of that. And we're all learning, everybody is learning as they go, as they grow. So that's been something that I have been really focused on the past couple months as well, since the beginning of the year. Honestly, since the end of last year, I've been in deep contemplation and just really like thinking about how I want to live my life moving forward, how I want to show up in my business, how I want to be supported, how I want to express my creativity. There's so many other things that I also want to be able to have time for. My writing, that's something that I've been investing in for the past, 2 years. And I want to get better at that. I want to continue to write. I want to continue to expand my voice and build my confidence through my writing. I want to eventually get to the point where I can write and publish my book. I want to continue to build my presence on social media in a way that's authentic to me. And when we talk about social media, it's such a touchy topic for me as well, because I basically like ghosted on, some of my social media last year around the holidays, and I really needed a break. And I've never allowed myself in the past like decade, more than a decade to have a break from social media. I've been on Instagram since like 2010. I don't even know. Just have been on social media for forever and have been consistent with it. That's the thing. It's like people will applaud you for being consistent, but they don't understand what it takes to actually be consistent and how that truly affects you. It's like, yeah, like it looks good to be consistent, but you're not understanding that like I've never actually given myself a break from being consistent. It's like you're seeing the positive side of it, but like there's also a negative side of just being consistent without taking a break. Even when it came to the podcast, me launching the podcast in 2023, yeah, I would give myself like a little seasonal break every now and then, which is like a couple weeks, maybe like, I would take like like 3 weeks or a month off from the podcast, if that. And I would come right back and just pump out episode, week after week. At some point I was doing 2 episodes a week, and that was great. That was fun. And then I decided I couldn't do that anymore. I've changed my mind so many times when it comes to the frequency, of the podcast and the episodes and the day and all of that. Just trying to figure out what works for me. But, that was great. And it's like, okay, we have now like this full catalog of these episodes, but I'm burnt out. I'm tired, like, and at what cost? At what cost? Like, I'm not someone that needs constant validation, like, yes, it's great. The compliments are great. And people looking up to you is great. People coming to you for advice, especially when you are someone that mentors other people. I do mentor people with their podcast getting started and editing and learning how to produce their own podcast and all of that. So yes, it's great to have a good portfolio and be a good example of what consistency looks like. And yes, I'm so proud of myself for being consistent with the podcast. And, I honestly am so proud of myself, especially like with the episodes. Like I will go back and listen to my episodes and I'm like, ooh, like this is great. Like the sound is great, the topic is great, the flow is great, the edit is great. Like I'm always proud of my work. And as I'm going to call myself a recovering perfectionist. I used to call myself a perfectionist quite a lot, and I don't want to call myself that anymore. Like I don't want to refer to myself as a perfectionist because I want to allow myself room for mistakes. I want to allow myself to show up messy sometimes. And I am probably in one of the messiest seasons of my life. And I'm just being real about it. I've been probably the most vulnerable with my audience, my community in the past, like, 6, 7 months. And with that, I feel like I'm sure there's people who are judging or looking at me crazy or whatever, especially with me, pivoting a little bit more into the astrology and spiritual worlds. I'm sure there's people who are like, well, like, there's going to be people who like want you to stay in your lane. Okay. Like if people see you in a box or they see you in a certain light, it's going to be strange for them and uncomfortable for them to see you outside of that box. The best thing that you can do for yourself is to ignore those people. Okay. And that includes family, that includes strangers on the internet, that includes even sometimes your friends, okay? Because again, if people see you a certain way and they're used to you showing up a certain way, they're going to be the first ones to judge you because they literally don't understand, okay? And your way of being, your process, your creativity, your evolution is not up to anybody to understand. Okay. It doesn't matter because they're not you. They're not inside your mind. They're not inside your body. They don't have the same purpose as you. They're not here to do the same things that you're here to do. So you worrying about how other people are going to see you and if people are going to accept you, like none of that matters. Okay. So that's the season that I'm in. It's like, I think collectively, to be honest, we are all going through a shift. I feel like a lot of women are talking about pivoting right now. A lot of women are choosing to step into a different light, a different identity, a different career. And, they're dropping the mask. A lot of people are tired of like pretending to be someone or something that they're not. Whether that is pretending to show up in a family dynamic, not necessarily be happy in that dynamic. And people are like, I want out. Maybe like it's a mom and she's just been living in this mother role for so long and secretly wanting to be single, wanting to live her life, wanting to have some type of freedom. I feel like I've seen a lot of women stepping into that lately. I've seen women completely changing their career trajectory. I have seen people just changing things completely, the way that they've been doing things and just switching it up. And again, it comes down to not giving a fuck what people think, because there's no way that you can change when you are stuck in an identity because you are afraid of people seeing you in a different light. You have to be able to step outside of that box. You have to be willing to change publicly. You have to be willing to let people down. And that's exactly where I'm at. I'm like, I know with me making changes in my business and doing things differently, like I'm gonna disappoint some people. I'm gonna let some people down, and that's okay. That's fine. It's gonna happen. And the best thing that you can do is show up for yourself first. Okay. And I know this is hard if like you're a community leader or someone that is used to taking on a lot of responsibility and showing up for other people and leading people and having people lean on you and count on you for things, right? Especially when it comes to people gaining some type of either joy, wisdom. They're benefiting somehow from whatever you're offering or from your presence or from a certain role that you're playing. So when you start to change, right? When you decide, like, I can no longer show up in this capacity, yes, some people, they're going to be disappointed. They're going to look at you crazy. They're going to wonder, like, well, what's going on? Like, this person is so selfish. Like, they only care about themselves. And I think we've touched a few times on previous episodes about the word selfish and how it's like, it sounds so bad, right? Like, oh my God, you're such a selfish person. But, sometimes you got to be that way. Who else is going to care about you as much as you? Who else is going to put the self first if not you? Like, you have to take care of yourself. You have to. That's why the topic of self-care is so big, right? Like, and now we see that self-care and wellness is so freaking trendy. And most of it has to do with aesthetics. And, I won't even get into that because that's a whole nother thing. And even just calling myself a wellness advocate and being in the fitness industry and the wellness industry over the past couple of years it's definitely changed. And I'm just one of those people. I think it's my fixed nature, literally, like all my big three are fixed signs. Like, I am at heart a rebel, especially like me being an Aquarius rising. When something becomes like trendy or like overused or oversaturated, like I get so just turned off by it where I don't even want to be a part of it anymore. And I kind of feel that way with certain things. I kind of feel that way with heels classes. I've been teaching heels since 2018. It was one of the like second or third classes that I had added to my dance company schedule. And I'm pretty much like self-taught in heels, but I also had trained with, like Aaliyah Janelle and Shirley Quickly, certain, teachers that would come from LA and New York, and I would just throw myself in their classes, like having literally no experience, but that's how you learn, right? And you learn through just practice and looking crazy, right? But I introduced heels classes to my community in 2018, and it's been great. I definitely had an advantage being in Bergen County, New Jersey, because there were basically no heels classes here. Only my friend Shay, we were like pretty much the only ones teaching heels in Bergen County. So we got a lot of women to learn how to dance in heels. I've had so many people start under, me when it comes to heels training, and it's beautiful to watch. But I think where we are right now, which I guess this is normal with any era or generation, or, when things become trendy, especially I think with social media, things tend to get blown up a little bit more. And with the dance world specifically, there is definitely it's just a different feel with social media, right? It started with TikTok during the pandemic and just dance becoming more mainstream in that way, where it's like, oh, like I only want to dance if I could post it on social media. I only want to take this dance class if there's going to be a videographer. I only want to go to this class if I get a chance to film it so that I could post it after. And I'm just kind of over that shit. I'm over that shit. I think even with my own experiences in my community in the past couple of years, I've seen how people who take heels specifically, there's this specific ego that's connected when you do start to take heels. And I think there's something beautiful that can happen in heels classes that usually doesn't happen in other classes. There is this level of confidence that is built, right? Because you're connecting with your body in a different way, right? Like you are, activating your sacral chakra, you're more sensual, you're connecting with your body, like you're also doing something that's pretty freaking hard. Like dancing in heels is extremely hard. A lot of people underestimate how difficult it actually is. There's so many different things that we talk about in heels training, from core strength to flexibility to balance to coordination, so many things, right? Fluidity. So once you're able to master those things, and I don't even want to say master because I talked about this in like a short reel, but you never truly become a master at anything, right? You're always learning, you're always a student. So when you start to improve, right, when you start to see improvement in your training and your technique, all of that, right, like it's going to be a good boost of confidence. And like that is what we ultimately want. Like we want to feel confident in our bodies, especially as women. Like we want to feel good. But there's the shadow side, which is the ego. And once we allow that ego to become louder than like the confidence and our humility, you still have to have a level of humility. Like you need to be humble when you're going into any class. Even with me, like I am never going to think that like I'm just the best of the best and like my training it's reached its peak. There's so much more training that I can do in anything, with anything. Like I'm always learning. I love learning. I'm always deep diving into something. So when you reach that level where you feel like, oh, like I'm so good at this. And I've seen that a lot. And I've seen how it has affected community, relationships, interactions, the way that people show up on social media, the way that people show up in class as well. And I hate to see it. I don't like it. And I'm not saying that this is, everyone who comes into my dance community and has taken my class. Like we have some really amazing girls, I've met, oh my God, over the years, just so many amazing women. But I'm just saying in general, just like in the heels community as a whole, when it comes to, across America and even outside of America. But this is just like the way that I see things on the outside. And I'm just like, oh, this is so oversaturated. And then not even talking about the teachers, just like, I think that we've talked about this on previous podcast episodes with my girl Amber P. She was on my podcast like many seasons ago, maybe season 3 or 4, I don't know. But we were talking about, not everybody is qualified to become a teacher. And it's like, it goes back to that thing of like, you think that you master something, or you think that, okay, because I'm good at this qualifies me to now stand in front of a room and to teach other people. And I think that you have to have certain qualities about you to be a good teacher. Anybody, sure. Anybody can teach, sure. Stand in front of the room, tell people what to do, move your body, right? But to be a teacher, you have to know how to connect with people, right? And it's not just about you as a teacher. It's never about you. It's always about your students, right? It's always about the value that you're giving them, what they're taking away. Are they able to actually learn and apply apply what you're teaching them, right? And what I see in a lot of heels classes, it's like the teacher is almost like it says, hey, look at me, I'm actually here for the video. Like, I just see that with a lot of teachers, like, hey, everyone come to my class, like, we're gonna film, and like, I'm just teaching this class so that like you guys can pay for my video. And like, that's crazy, because you want to film and like have other people film themselves, but we look back at those videos of your students and they look freaking crazy on camera. That is a pure reflection of your teaching. Whenever your students look crazy, that is a pure reflection of the type of teacher. But I'm going off on a tangent here, okay, talking about heels. We're all over the place, and we're definitely over 30 minutes. I told you guys we have so much to talk about, but yeah, y'all, I am definitely in a season of pivoting. I'm definitely in a season of listening to myself, showing up more authentically. I'm just excited for this next season. It's like, as much that, I'm dealing with personally and allowing myself to radically accept where I am right now in my life, and knowing that nothing is perfect, nothing looks the way that I thought it would look. The messy middle is all I can say, just being in the messy middle, and all of it is happening for our highest good. I just keep telling myself that, like for me specifically, and this is why I love astrology and human design, it always comes back to that, right? Like, once you know your makeup, right, the way that you are created and made, the placements that you have, the challenges that you have, the purpose that you have. Like for me, I have Saturn ruling my first house, which is like, that's a challenge in itself. Like, that's going to signify that, number one, I'm a late bloomer, right? Like, I have Aquarius in my first house, Aquarius rising. Saturn rules Aquarius. So automatically it's like, I know that I'm going to face challenges within myself when it comes to the timing of my life, trusting the timing, things coming later in life, challenges, having certain boundaries and roadblocks, that's one of the biggest lessons. And then I have a lot of Scorpio placements. I have freaking Jupiter in my 8th house. It's like, that's the Scorpio house. So a lot of themes of spirituality, yes, which is great. Like I've fully embraced that, and I love that about myself, but also like challenges that no one else sometimes like understands or deals with, like the real deep, dark shit, and facing that and understanding that and transmuting that energy, like, okay, I have this and this sucks, but like, I know out of this and out of this challenge and this muck and like this fucking rock bottom, like out of that comes wisdom, out of that comes experience, out of that comes lessons that I can take with me, right? And that I can teach people and that I can write about. So it's like everything is giving me more substance. It's giving me more personality, more wisdom, more knowledge about myself, more knowledge about the world. So it's like, I can't hate any of it. It's like, yeah, it can suck and it can feel sucky while you're in it, but I know I'm going to be so grateful for everything that I've experienced on the other side. And there's so much, that I have yet to share with you guys and with my audience and my community. But I feel like when you're going through things, sometimes it's best to talk about it when you are past it, when you're on the other side of it. So it doesn't make sense for me to like talk about it now, but it will make so much sense once I'm through it. So right now I'm just in the thick of it, of working through, of, yeah. I can't say much more, but this was a nice therapy session. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you got something out of it. But main points here, your next level is going to require letting people down. Okay, let's just sum it up. Your next level is going to require letting some people down. You're going to have to close some tabs to create more space for evolution and growth. You can't take everyone with you. You can't take everything with you. You got to close some tabs. You got to create some space. Something got to go. Also, you're allowed to change your mind. This is the big pivot. We are officially at the halfway point of the year. I mean, June would have been the halfway point, but June just ended. Okay, so it's summertime. Jupiter's in Leo now. Like, this is the time to really tap into your creativity, to really tap into who you are, to really tap into your essence, to shine bright. Like, Leo energy is like, it's unapologetic in who it is. It shows up, it shows out. It doesn't feel bad about outshining anyone or outsmarting anyone. It doesn't think about freaking playing small. Like, in Jupiter in Leo, it's expansive. It's literally this planet of abundance, literally the planet of expansion. So now's the time to expand. So if you have any placements in Leo specifically, but any of the fixed signs, like, this is I'm so excited, y'all. Y'all have no idea, because literally I told you guys my big three, all fixed signs. Leo's a fixed sign. So if you have any fixed placements specifically that are like in major planets in your chart, you're probably going to feel this. So I know for me, like right now, this is a time of visibility. This is a time of creativity. This is a time of my relationships expanding. Like, so many things. So many things. All major placements in my chart. So I am so happy to be back on the podcast. I think this is the perfect time. I literally just chose, I was like, yeah, July 1st, we're back. Sometimes you just gotta make like a quick decision. I know, like I was just telling you guys, like, don't make impulsive decisions, but sometimes it works for you. Okay, it could work for you. It works for me. So I know for me, once I set my mind on something, like a date for me is everything. Once I have a date in my calendar, for the most part, like for the most part, I've definitely bailed on some things, personal things, nothing like involving other people, but usually once I have a date in my mind and I publicly announce it, oh, it's a wrap. Now I gotta show up. So once I posted July 1st, podcast is back. Oh, well, guess we're back. And here we are. So podcasts will be out on Wednesdays, one episode a week for now. We're also starting with audio only. I will be back on camera for my YouTube family. I know you guys miss my face, but you guys can, again, follow me on TikTok. And I have my separate YouTube channel, Midheaven Mommy, if you guys want to check out any of my astrology and spiritual content. So I hope that you guys have a beautiful day. I'm recording this super late and I was teaching tonight, so excuse my voice if it sounds like crusty or rusty, but I feel like it's time for me to get off the mic. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. As always, if you love the show, leave a rating and review. That would help me out tremendously. We are back on the show. We are officially back in business, baby. So I am looking to continue to grow and expand this podcast. I'm going to be introducing guest episodes once again pretty soon. So if you know anyone who would be a great fit for the show, send them my way. Okay, send me a nice DM, send me their Instagram, and yeah, let's get it popping. So go do something for yourself today. Go drink some water, go hydrate, go stretch, go move your body, take yourself on a solo date, do something. Okay. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye, y'all. Take care.